All right, finally got to Little Oak Campground here in South Holston. Just filling the freshwater tank here. Don't like to haul 1,000 pounds of fresh water all the way here if I don't need to. And since it is a 140-gallon tank, I just fill it up when I get here. So this camera, which got broken by the people mowing grass where I was storing it, quit on me. It was in and out. But the important ones, the side marker ones, or side view, and the back ones work just fine. So, no major catastrophes getting here. Almost went off the road at the opening of the campground road thanks to somebody. And this latch, which works great stationary, won't hold the door closed going down the road, and I have removed the original system. So what that means is I had to tie the door closed while I was on the inside so it would quit bouncing open. So it's kind of strange, excuse me, but yeah, overall not too bad. Little oil blew by there. Out the dipstick tube, it keeps doing that to check the breather and make sure it's not plugged up. But anyway, how not to level your motorhome. One of the boards I was backing onto, well, I backed onto it and I was pulling forward to change the stack a little bit, and I kicked up a board right into my transmission pan, mangling it in the process. I don't know if I can get where you can see it. Right under here, but mangling it there in the process. And the let's see if we can switch. There we go. There you go. Completely mangled in the pan, and where it met the rail, it was pouring fluid, and I managed to catch some of it in this waterproof bag. Try to stop up some of it with some paper towels and a rag, and beat the pan back enough to seal. So for the moment, it doesn't leak. I didn't try to get it leveler than I have it now, even though it's not as level as I would like it. But it will do for tonight. So, let's see if I can show you this better now. See how mangled that is? This is completely exposed, and it is right behind the tires. When leveling at the last campsite, the top board, when I pulled forward to readjust, got kicked up right there into the pan. And boy, was it a leak. It leaked about 3 gallons of fluid by the time I could get something under there to catch it and bang the flange across the top, which was actually what was leaking, back up enough to basically stop leaking. Got a new pan on the way, though looks like I may have to do a couple of modifications, but here soon, I'm going to build some sort of skid plate protector for that transmission pan, because it's right behind the wheels, and I just never want to deal with that again. I'm also going to make sure the boards that I level with get screwed together. It'll take a little extra time. I have to make sure I bring my drill and some 3-inch wood screws, but I've got those here for the bus now to stay here. And I'm going to drive some screws down, just a couple, so it can't kick up just one board. It'd have to kick them all up. Yesterday, I pulled off the new power steering pump because I was still not getting any power assist, and I hate driving the bus without power steering. Oh, buddy, do I hate it. So I put on my old pump, which wasn't bad, but it ran dry for a bit. Well, I put some Hyperlube in it, but it basically ran for a while dry when the steering hose up front busted. And I'm trying to rebuild the entire steering system. So all new hoses, both front and back. I ordered a new cylinder, even though my other one's not bad. And I ended up having to put the old one back in because I'm still waiting on the new one. And a new pump, which was almost $500. The pump that I got doesn't seem to be working. I ran it with the pressure hose here disconnected and just hanging out the back, and it just dribbled out. And this pump is supposed to move 4 gallons a minute at idle at 500 RPMs and make 1,000 PSI. So I knew that wasn't happening. So I put the old one back on yesterday, and when I fired it up with the pressure line disconnected, it sputtered for a couple of seconds like the old one did the whole time. And then, boy, oh boy, did it shoot some fluid. So I knew it was making better pressure and volume. So when I reconnected everything, I had power steering, magically. That's how it's supposed to work. So I know my bleeding wasn't bad because when I replaced this, all I had was the lines to fill back up. Actually, just one line. And it worked. So I haven't yet talked to Luke at US Coach to see if he's going to send me another pump or refund me for this other pump that was no good. I don't know if maybe it just got corrosion in it from sitting on the shelf for too long, because, you know, the demand for these old bus pumps can't be that great. But I'll talk to him Monday. Hopefully I'll be finding out about when my cylinder will be coming for the steering as well. Although it may just go on the shelf as a spare right now, since the old one works. And I just got it back together not too long ago. But we have another trip coming up, and so I'm going to do a few little things. My seat position is too far back. I mean, it's not bad. In this seat, I can reach the wheel okay, but I can't reach the top of the wheel without leaning forward. And without power steering, that's a bad idea. I discovered I was really having to sit leaned way forward and having the torque. Now that the power steering is back, pulling just on the bottom of the wheel is okay, but I feel like it would be a little nicer to just be a little closer. The pedals and all are fine, but I think they'll be okay if I move the seat up. The seat is out of a Pontiac with an integrated shoulder belt, and it's mounted to the original seat base, but it is all electric. So I just got to wire up the electric. It's just a hot in the ground, 12 volt. I'll wire it in off the bus panel. And there's switches on the far side that let you move it up and down and angle the back and tip the front. And so I'll get to play with all of those to get it comfortable here shortly. My other project for today is going to be to move this monitor, which shows me all 4 cameras, although the front camera got busted. Somebody mowing or weed eating around the storage spot kicked up a rock, so I've got to order a replacement from the company, and I may actually order 4 of them just so I have some spares. So you can see this one's black, but all my camera angles that show me down both sides of the bus and the back, although that's pointing up because I opened the back hatch. But when I'm sitting where I sit in the driver's seat, they're a little small. It's just a 10-inch monitor. It's a high-def monitor because these are 1080 cameras. And I really like it, but it's just a little far away. And now that I don't have the handle for opening and closing the door, I'm going to shift this up a lot closer, well, a little closer. I'm going to try to cover the holes here with the corner of the bracket, I think. But that'll give me 3 or 4 inches closer, and I'll be sitting a couple inches closer. And I think that will just make keeping an eye on those cameras a little easier. So those are my quick little projects for today, and an update on that transmission situation. Seems to be running just fine. I had to, fill it back up, but we're taking a trip next weekend, so I want to do a few things and then clean up a little, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll.